very good.
So, I spoke to you about this movie way back when at Sundance, I remember at length, and I remember, you talked about it in terms of, you were obviously very proud of the work, but it had taken a toll in a way too, I feel like, right? Do you feel like now with some distance you can enjoy the movie a little bit more, or does it still feel like, or when you think about this movie, do you think about sort of like how it changed you, or do you feel like just about the product, like the pride you have in it?
It was an incredibly impactful experience, but at the same time, it's not like I was, incredibly altered at the end of it. It was just, it did sort of, one thing that is, it's hard to relate to this story. I couldn't have had a more different upbringing, and I can't relate to the kind of, like loss and weird, incomplete, feeling or whatever, but one thing that really is sort of like generally relatable and like sort of I found like perfect actually for like young girls, Twilight fans, actually perfect. But like sort of the whole idea that you're not going, unless you respect and like yourself, like nobody else is going to. And like it's always been like really easy for me to do that, and I hope that doesn't sound like totally arrogant, but it's not. I've always just been lucky, like and so it's not for a lot of, like it's potentially, like for so many people it's so difficult to do that, and but I'm really proud of it, and like I've totally stepped away from it, and like it's she's also really funny, and like it was also as heavy as those ideas are, like it was fun playing her because she's crazy, she's like incredibly she's got like a vitality.
Talking that at all because it's this weird, and it's this weird almost like rite of passage, and in a strange way for like a young actress. So many young actresses have played strippers.
I know,
right?
It's weird. I know.
It is a little bit odd. So is there reluctance? Is there? I would think that day, for instance, where you have to like dress in that garb and you have to be up there.
Right.
That's not going to have to be a day that you look forward to. I would think that's got to be a lot of nerves, more than usual, or no?
I got rid of my nerves once I started. The day we started shooting, I was like so totally lost, like crazy. Like I was walking down the street in like a robe and fishnets, but I wouldn't tie the robe up. I just did not care. I was so comfortable and like just not afraid of anything. Thank God. But that stripper day, you don't see me strip in the movie, and I learned how to do it. And so like there's one shot that people should know is definitely me when I sort of like I twirl down this pole in the background. It's entirely in silhouette, like you can't see anything.
You want credit for that, though.
Yeah, I do.
That took a little.
I totally do, because gosh, like it's not easy to do, and I worked hard at it for kind of a while, and but that whole, I was so mindless on the thing that every normal question that you'd be asking yourself, like, are you okay with looking like this in front of so many people? Are you going to be okay with looking like this in front of the world? Are you, are you feeding into cliches? Like, it's so, for me, I'm not saying like what the result is, but the experience was so naturally found and like came from, like the story was so important to everybody that it didn't feel that way, and I didn't think about that kind of stuff on set. I would not have been able to go through with it. It would have killed me.
Like for Mallory, like, and she's kind of an out of control young woman, right? She doesn't really have much control in her life, and the only sense of power she has is through her sexuality, right? In a way, that's the only power she can exert for herself.
That is, yeah, one thing sometimes.
Do you feel like in your own life that you've ever felt like you've owned your sexuality, that you've been able to use that to your advantage in a way?
Well, like doing this movie, it was one shocking thing was to find how easy it is. Like, I went to a strip club with the director and the costume designer, and it being an odd grouping of people going into a strip club in the middle of the afternoon, I was like straight up offered a job. And and then walking around in New Orleans, like wearing the kind of stuff I was wearing, it literally could be like, boom, 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 done. Like it, yeah, but I would never do that, and like.
It's good to know you have options.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Since the last time we spoke, you've shot On the Road, which I know is a project that's been very important to you.
Yeah.
You've been attached for a while, and this is a project that obviously a lot of people have dear to their hearts. So
yeah.
you were nervous going in. Did those nerves ever subside?
No, no, no. They definitely didn't. I would turn around like in the car almost every single day and show Walter my hand, and it would be like, and he'd be like, "Good, that is how I want you to be." But no, they never went away. But it was like everything I wanted it to be. Everything, like, it exceeded every expectation. I mean, it was like so much. I mean, like, not. I mean, it was so much fun, and like, oh God, it was just like, it literally was one of the most. It was wild. Like, it was wild, and we didn't really know what to expect every day, and it was also kind of like this, but different. Like, everything was very much found, like, and that's so in the spirit of the story, like, the whole, like, impulsive, you know, you just, everything happens, and it's not for any reason. And
do you feel like an honorary beat right now? Do you feel like you kind of have a, do you feel like you would have liked to have been a part of that generation?
Yes, I mean, well, I would, if I wanted to, yeah, totally. But, I mean, we had so many, I mean, we had visitors, like, we had very, very, very intimidating visitors. Very
of that
different.
generation? Oh, okay.
Yeah, like writers, like biographers, and so that was, we do feel a little bit like we know more than most people. Like, we sort of feel like, I mean, I know all of them by name, like, it's, you know, that is cool, but at the same time, there are people that live that, and so we did a little bit feel like, you know, God, I hope they don't think that we're stupid kids doing this movie.
Well,
But
in the hands of Walter, I think you're.
Yeah, definitely. But you have to, you always question yourself a little bit with people like that.
So
I love the book. I read it when I was 14. I read it like 15 times. I love it. I love it. Like, okay.
You're about to step into Bella's shoes one more time.
Mm-hmm.
Does that feel odd to know that you're literally, this next time is going to be it?
Yeah, totally. I mean, it's odd because it feels the same, yet it's different because, you know, we all know that it is over, and it's so not over yet either. I mean, like, we have the hugest job that we've had almost, like, all along, so.
So how's the script? Are you happy with it? What moved you or struck you when you read Melissa's finished product for these two films?
Well, it's never, to be honest, it's never very striking, only because I know it. It's always, it's either going to be, you read it sort of until you get to the last page, just hoping that it doesn't let you down, and going like, okay, yeah, that's what I got too. That's what I got, and it's really good. It's like, I don't know. It's very solid, and we've started, me and Robin Taylor, and I've just come from Baton Rouge, and we've gotten through the first one so far, and it's done. I mean, it's like, it's locked. It's crazy. Like,
I mean, in terms of like read-throughs, you did a read through the first one.
Yeah, and so, like, basically we know exactly how the book is going to find itself now. We know all the lines, we know every scene that's been pulled, and it's always scary when you don't know what parts they're going to think are important, because sometimes you have a different idea.
And in your head, they captured everything that was important in the book, hopefully.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, there were a few little things that I thought were, you know, but that's luckily, like, one of the coolest things I get to do is say, how about this line? I really like it. It's not in yet, and then I sort of get to
have your 2 cents.
Yeah.
Have you met the young woman that's going to be your daughter? Did you and Rob have approval on your spawn?
No. But I haven't met her yet. No, I haven't. That sounds so weird. No, I haven't met my daughter yet. Wow.
What do you think? I mean, you've seen her image. I would think. Do you see a little bit of yourself and Rob in there? Is that?
Yeah. I mean, it's funny. Bill Condon was like, "Wait until you see this kid." I mean, like, if you and Rob had a kid, this would be it. And I was like, that's so weird. And she just looks like, she sort of looks like Bella. I mean, which is absolutely right. Although the funny thing is, she has green eyes.
Right.
And we both have to wear brown contacts together.
So a last Twilight thing, and a flippant one, but an important one. Did feathers make it into the script? Are there feathers in any way?
Of course, come on.
I just want to make sure for the fans. That's important.
That is important, and if I don't know how we would not have that in there, actually.
Right. I asked, as always, for people to chime in with questions on Twitter, and okay. So this is bizarre to me. Maybe this is less bizarre to you, but this is the question I got the most. Are you aware of what a Krisbian is?
Yeah, I can't lie about that. I totally can't lie about that.
Okay.
Yeah, oh my God, yeah. And in fact, it really pisses one person off.
Who's that?
Oh, you know, my brother. But, yeah, it's funny. It's funny. Hi.
You're cool with it. It's fine by you, but the brother's less.
Yeah. No, yeah, that was stupid. But, yeah, that, like, how would they do it with your name?
It's never going to happen.
It wouldn't be the same thing because if you were a lesbian, it kind of wouldn't make sense.
Right. No. On many levels, that wouldn't make sense.
Right.
It works better with your name, and thankfully your name works for it.
Right. Yeah.
So congratulations on that.
Thank you.
Baking going. Did you have time to bake for your workmates on the road, or was that too intense a shoot?
I didn't bake. I cooked a lot, though. I cooked a lot. I was the only girl on set. That last question really is embarrassing me a lot.
Just like it's still.
I know.
I'm sorry.
No.
We'll delete the tape.
Please do.
Nope,
No, I know. This whole thing is already up.
Oh, stop.
It's streaming live.
That's right. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
On CNN right now.
Right. Oh boy.
What were we talking about? Your food. Okay, so
Yeah.
baking, cooking, that's still an important part of your life. That you have any new specialties I should know about?
I don't know. I mean, like, I think I can do a really, like, terrific tortilla soup. And that was like my on-the-road dish, so.
Oh my God, what do we hear to crack? What's going on with you?
Musical instrument.
So you work opposite Mr. James Gandolfini and Melissa Leo, for that matter, two great actors. But Gandolfini in particular is somebody that, like, he doesn't do press, for instance. He doesn't talk to the press, which I find interesting.
I'm about to go do 2 interviews with him.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Is he going to be okay? You're the pro. You're the one that can help him through it, I think.
I know, he's making me nervous, though. Now I'm like, oh, God, you're going to bring me down. No, I'm kidding. It's just that, like, if he's nervous and he's uncomfortable, then I'm going to be like, oh, he's going to suck me right into it. I know it, but.
Do you ever wish that you could kind of do the Gandolfini way and just kind of stop with all the interviews? You've done so many. You're going to continue to do so many for Breaking Dawn at a certain point.
I mean, it sort of depends. Like today is really exciting because I didn't think that I was going to have, I mean, the opportunity to talk about Welcome to the Rileys was either, like, you know, it's not like an easily attainable, I mean, it's like, I thought this movie was going to do nothing, basically. Right. And so this is fun. This is, like, really, really cool. And so no.
Right.
Because you know, that would mean that I'm suddenly talking about something that I like don't want to talk about, and I mean it gets crazy when it's like so much, and it seems to just be like growing. But
and you must at a certain point not even know what you're saying. Like it's just like literally. I mean, like if your mouth is moving that much, it's like.
Sometimes that happens, and it's really not good. Yeah, but. It's all good. I mean, like, it gets a little tiring and it shows, but I think that's only natural and honest and whatever.
Acting with James, I mean, again, he's as good as they come. Is that intimidating, exciting for you? Because, you know, a lot of these scenes, it's literally the two of you, and if you suck, he's going to be great. We know James is going to be great. We think you're going to be great, too, but, right. You know, you don't want to be the one that's
that would be horrible. Oh, my God.
So, I mean, I guess what I'm saying is that just add to the nerves? Or is that part of the excitement, too, I guess, right? You get to play a movie opposite James Gandolfini.
It's actually really oddly comforting. Like, if you know, I mean, if you're working with someone who's, like, an unknown, it's always like, oh, I hope they're, you know. But going into a movie with James and Melissa, you sort of, the nerves come from, I hope I'm going to be okay, rather than I hope they're not going to let me down. Like, I hope they're not going to, like, not fulfill their side of, like, because you can't do this alone. Like, yeah, so, like, it was intimidating, but at the same time, like it always is with actors like that, and I've worked with a few now. I always say the same thing. It's like, it really pushes you, like, hard.
You talked about her, you talked how protective you kind of were and are of the character, right? And I remember you even putting in terms of, like, in some ways that it's changed your perspective, that, like, if you see somebody looking at a girl the wrong way, you're going to come across the room and kill them. You actually said it to me. I was a little bit intimidated.
I will kill them.
So has that happened since? Have you seen a guy make the wrong look, and have you gone after them?
No, I haven't. I'll be honest. But I know where I was probably feeling a little spunky that day. But I totally, gosh, like, especially after that, like, I was overtly sensitive, like, more so than she would ever be, like, way more so, just because I was, like, I was so touchy with that kind of thing, and that's probably what I was talking about.
film. You shot this, I think, right after Twilight, correct? Is that, I'm getting the chronology right? So do you see like an earlier actress version of Kristen, or do you kind of see like, is that, I mean, what do you see? Do you see sort of like you growing as an actress in this one, or do you see yourself sort of employing some tricks that you've learned in the last couple of years since then? Or
right. I don't know, man. I really don't know.
I stumped you with the Krisbians?
Yeah. I can't really go. I mean, I could sit here and bring up little things that I wish I didn't. I mean, little things that kill me, like stuff that I see that maybe other people don't see, but stuff that is very apparent to me. But it was so everything that it should be. Like it was, if I did bring like my little things to it. Sorry, like it's just sort of exactly like we did share like a few personality aspects, and I think that's maybe why I was hired. Like, yeah, so it wasn't that much of a. I mean, it was a stretch because I mean, obviously, I live nothing like the way she lives, but yeah, it's hard. It's always really hard to say like how you've progressed as an actor. I mean, I feel like I've gotten better with every movie, but
right.
I have no idea.
Clips. There were all those silly rumors, maybe they weren't silly at the time, about Wanted 2. But more importantly, do you still feel like that action thing is an itch that you want to scratch? I think it would be cool to see you kind of do the action thing. Do you agree or no?
I would love to, yeah. Especially if it was something like, I mean, Wanted was a great movie. Like, it was actually, you know, like the characters all really were very real, and like there was more of a story than just, you know,
right.
Like it wasn't so formulaic.
Right.
And I would love to do something like that, but I could never like insert myself into one of those equations that's just like, let's blow some stuff up and run around and
right.
look hot.